All right, so let's talk about solving quadratics using square roots. So we've talked about solving linear equations so far, and now we're going to just expand that into quadratics. And quadratics is when we have an exponent of 2 on our variable, okay? So we have x squared equals 54. And the way that we undo something being squared is that we take the square root of it. Okay, so that can leave me with x on this side. And one important thing to remember is that we have, when we take a square root of both sides when we're solving an equation, we need to get the positive and the negative answer. All right, quadratics will have 1, 2, or no solutions. So when we're taking the square root of both sides, we need to remember the plus or minus so that we can account for that second possible solution. All right, now we need to simplify this radical, square root of 54. All right, so square root of 54, I'm trying to think right off the top of my head if any perfect squares go into 54. And I do know that 54 is square root of 9 and square root of 6 because I know square root of 9 gives me a nice number. 9 is a perfect square. So I can go straight to that. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 6 doesn't break down to anything that'll give me a perfect square. So square root of 6 is just going to stay square root of 6. So for this problem, x squared equals 54. I'm going to get x equals plus or minus 3 rad 6. So we need to include both of our solutions there. All right, let's talk about the second one. We have x plus 9 in parentheses being squared, and that's going to equal 64. All right, so I need to undo the squaring first in order to get at what's inside the parentheses. So I'm going to square root both sides, and that's going to leave me with x plus 9 equals square root of 64. But I have to remember here that because I took the square root of both sides, that's going to be plus or minus 8. Okay, so now we're not totally done. We need to figure out what our x actually is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into two equations because there's two possibilities here. I have x plus 9 could equal positive 8 and x plus 9 could equal negative 8. All right, so now just to finish this out, I'm going to solve both of these. So x could equal negative 1. That's one possibility. Or x could equal negative 17. All right, so that is how you solve quadratics using square roots. Just an important skill. The main thing that I want to highlight is the plus or minus. Okay, we need to remember the plus or minus if we take a square root of both sides. All right, make sure you keep practicing simplifying radicals and then this new skill.